Yeah, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to draft the back piece of a corset dress. So I have my lines drawn out the shoulder, shoulder to bust, and shoulder to the waist. So I'll just go ahead and label what I have and redraw the line with a marker to make it visible. This is the shoulder line, the bust line, and the waistline. Those are what we need for the back pattern, and then the same allowance for the down. So I'll just go ahead and label what I have. This is shoulder, this is the bust line, this is the waist line, and then the same allowance line to join the waist to the skirt. So on the shoulder line, I'm going to mark half of the shoulder measurement plus half-inch seam allowance. Half of the shoulder measurement plus half-inch seam allowance. And then I'm going to mark the neckline. Do well to make use of yours. I'm using 3.5. And then to mark the shoulder slant, I'm going to come down by 1 inch. And then the armhole depth is 8 inches. So I'll go ahead and redraw the shoulder line so that we can get our chest line. So I'll remark the shoulder, half of the shoulder measurement, and also the quarter of the bust circumference. So I'm just confirming the measurement so that I can have a straight line on the other side. So after you have done your markings, just use your long ruler and then connect that. This will help us to get the armhole curve and the armhole length. So this is the chest line, and then I'll connect the armhole depth and then the shoulder slant. For the neck, we are using this is just a starting line to indicate where we are starting from. So on that part, you can have your zipper allowance if you intend to use a zipper. But for this, you are going to be using eyelet, so there is no zipper. So I'm going to mark the neckline now. The neckline is 1.5 inches depth, and then just connect that. So this part is for the zipper. If you are using a zipper, then you increase that part to 1.5 wide if you are using a zipper. So connect the neck curve to the shoulder using the French curve. So this is the neckline, and it's going to have a yoke. Just reconnect it with a marker so that it can be visible. So we'll get half of the armhole depth. We'll mark the midpoint of the armhole depth so that we can get our armhole curve. So we just mark the curve from the midpoint into the chest line. So that is the midpoint, and then just highlighting again with the marker to make it visible. When drafting your pattern, always draft with pencil so that it will be easy for you to erase if there is any mistake. So we'll go ahead now and put quarter of our bust circumference, that is bust circumference divided by 4. But before that, I'm going to be marking a bust part measurement. Half of the bust part measurement, we'll measure it on the bust line, chest line, and then on the waist line, so that we can take our dart. So then we just use a long ruler, use a ruler to connect that together. And then I'm going to take and come down from the chest line by 1 inch, and then on the waistline we are going to take ½ inch on both sides. So it is either you come down from the chest line by 1 inch or you go 1 inch above your bust line to determine where the dart will stop. So I haven't marked that, just connect in a form of a triangle to the point above the bust line before the chest line. So we are going to be cutting this part off. So you see why you need to make use of pencil, so you can easily erase. So on the bust line, we're going to impute 1/4 of our bust measurement, that is bust circumference divided by 4. Just mark it there, and then we'll replace the small dart that is there, 1/4 of the dart, 1/4 of an inch, and then go ahead and add the same allowance. And then on the waistline, we'll mark the waist circumference divided by 4, just confirming the measurement. So this is how to use the tape to do your division without calculator. Just fold your tape into 2 or fold it into 2 again. So you mark the waist measurement, then you replace the 1 inch dart that was taken, and then we add the same allowance. So connect the bust line to the waistline. So we also repeat the measurement we have on the bust line on the chest line, and then just connect all that. So we are going to be having eyelets on this pattern, so we need to determine how much you want to take off, how wide you want the spacing of the eyelet at the back to be. So you do that according to your preference. So I'm going to be marking 3 inches off. That means by the time you open it up, it will be 6 inches. Remember that when you want to cut on your fabric, your pattern has to be on fold. So you mark out the parts you're going to use for the eyelet that you're going to cut off to create the eyelet, but that will help you to draft the modesty panel. So after you have confirmed your measurement, just connect that with a ruler. So you're going to be creating eyelet holes later on. So that's just a reminder that there's going to be eyelet holes. So this part, we are going to cut it out. Don't need it. So the next thing, now we are going to determine the back, how the back yoke, the shape of the back yoke is going to be a keyhole at the back. So you determine where you want the keyhole to stop. It can stop either at the bust span measurement or at the cutting that you have made. So determine where yours will be, how open you want it to be. So on that part at the back, on the neck, You just come down by 1 inch so that we'll be able to draw our keyhole. So do yours according to your preference. I'm using 1 inch because we are going to be having a zipper. Sorry, I'm going to be having a button. So the 1 inch is to help us to be able to sew around that neck area. So from there, just use your fresh cuff to connect it to where you want the keyhole to stop. So mine is going to be stopping on the line that we're going to cut out. So this is the yoke, the keyhole. This is the back yoke, and that open point is the keyhole. So when you are cutting, remember to put same allowance on the shoulder and also around the armhole. So I'm just going to use a marker to highlight what we have so far so that it can be visible. So if you like, the keyhole can stop on the bust span line. So it depends on what you want, how wide you want it to be. So it totally depends on you. Do you want it to stop here or you want it to stop there? So you're going to stop on the bust span line. So this is how it will be like. And then if it's going to stop on where you're going to cut out, you just remark it according to how you want. Depends on how wide or how open you want the keyhole to be. And then you determine the shape of the back of the second neckline after the yoke, whether you want it straight or you want it slanted towards the armhole area. So I'm going to be leaving mine straight. So the next thing is to cut out the pattern. So I'm cutting out the pattern. For the darts, you don't need to cut it out. You can just simply close it so that you can cut it as a one piece on your fabric. So I'm just trying to close up the dart area. So you can slash through them, close it up and use your masking tape to secure it and to secure your pattern. That's why when you're cutting on your fabric, then you can cut it as one piece. Just watch how I'm cutting it. So you can mark 1/4 inch on both sides so that you'll be able to fold that place very well to close up the dart, so you can relax. So use your paper tape and your masking tape to secure it in place, or to hold it in place. So this is the down part of the pattern. They are going to cut away these other parts that we are not needing, because we are going to be creating eyelets. So the width is 3 inches. We are going to use that piece to cut the modesty panel. So make sure the modesty panel is wide enough to cover your entire back. Remember, it's going to be 6 inches. Your opening is 6 inches, so you make your modesty panel up to 10 or 11 inches that can cover the back, your entire back. And then we'll reduce the height, the length of the modesty panel, 1/2 inch on both sides. So this is what you are going to use to cut out the modesty panel. So don't forget, your modesty panel will be up to 10 to 12 inches wide so that it can cover your entire back. So extend it more than that. So that is ready. This is going to be cut on fold. If you do not want to cut it as one piece, then you just separate it. You separate it and cut them separately. That way, the joining that you're going to have there is where you're going to join the modesty panel, and then the small piece, the eyelet holes will be on the small piece. But if you want your back piece as a single piece, then you just use your paper tape to close up the dart. So this is where you're going to be creating the bony channel. So you can determine how to create your bony channel. You're going to be having 3 at the back. So that is for that. Then next you're going to cut out the yoke. So when you're cutting out the yoke, add the seam allowance to it. Add seam allowance all around it. Also add seam allowance around the keyhole area, because you will need it to tidy it up. So our back yoke is ready. This is the back yoke with keyhole. So we are through with all our patterns. These are our patterns. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This is Joydala Fashion Guide. Please support my channel by subscribing. For those of you who have been coming back to watch my videos, I say thank you very much. So this is all for the pattern. You can now go ahead and use this to cut on your main fabric. So do it to label your pattern and also to mark where the joining will be. That will help you when you are drafting on your fabric. This is Joydala Fashion Guide. So that is all for the pattern. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again in another video. Bye for now.